This One's Wife, Tearful Breakdown. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. This One's Wife is not averse to doling out the pity plays. She will have done so repeatedly behind the scenes with Harry, members of staff, family members, at least those that she was once talking to, and she has done so on a larger scale, where she has issued it in the context of an interview, be it on television or in print. For instance, talking to Tom Bradby, when she announced nobody asked if I was okay. Major pity play to assert control over Tom Bradby and also over the viewership to make them feel purportedly sorry for her. The pity play about the fact that she had had suicidal ideations, but nobody would help her or listen to her in the royal family. Again, doled out as part of the Oprah interview and done to elicit sympathy from Oprah as the interviewer, but more widely from the audience that was watching the interview. We know that she turned on the fake waterworks, the infamous one tear, left eye, go debacle. But as a mid-range narcissist, pity plays are a fundamental part of her manipulative arsenal. They are done in the moment to draw sympathy from individuals, thus demonstrating that those individuals are under control, and, in the circumstances, receiving fuel from them. It's also part of the facade management that she as a narcissist engages in to demonstrate that she's a hard-done-to individual, that people pick on her, that they're racist towards her, that they're hateful towards her, and she doesn't deserve any of that treatment. And therefore, you ought to feel sorry for her. Pity plays are used by many narcissists, but they're mainly found amongst the mid-range narcissists, especially middle range A and middle range B. Middle range A being those types of narcissists that ostensibly hold themselves out as being really kind and helpful people, often being overwhelming angels in their pursuit of helpfulness. And the crybabies, the ones that regularly turn on the waterworks, woe is me, the world is against me, the universe has cursed me, that are the types of middle range type B. But whether they're A or B, both have pity plays in their arsenals. They're seen amongst upper mid-rangers and lower mid-rangers, and they can be found amongst lessers also. You don't find pity plays with greaters. But it is the mid-range narcissists that use them most extensively, and therefore as a mid-ranger herself, it's no surprise that this one's wife has regularly and publicly rolled out pity plays in order to get that control, fuel, and to manage her facade. And it would appear that she is at it again, as we're told, This One's Wife in tears as Critics' Choice Movie Awards cancelled her film for nomination, the morning show lead. Oh dear, poor This One's Wife, frustrated because her show wasn't nominated, and somebody else has been nominated for the awards, meaning that she is upset. The failure of her show to be nominated wounds her, and may well result in a response of a pity play, bursting into tears in order to nullify the threat to control that is posed by the fact that she has been wounded. The failure to nominate her, given of course her belief that everything she does is brilliant, is such that she believes that her show ought to be nominated and ought to win. And a failure to nominate thus wounds her, threatening her subconscious need for control. Her narcissism as a self-defense mechanism steps in, seeking to nullify that threat to control by an alternative means. Here, it would appear to be the turning on of the waterworks to elicit sympathy, thus nullifying the threat to control and drawing plenty of fuel into the bargain. The information states that Harry and This One's Wife's controversial Netflix series has been rejected by the Critics' Choice Awards for being a shit show and not a qualified movie. Well, Harsh words indeed coming there from the Critics' Choice Awards, although perhaps not entirely inaccurate. The 6-part series was submitted by their agency, WME, for nominations in the documentaries category, but failed to make the cut. The Critics' Choice Awards announced their awards on December 6, 2023. The morning show and Succession lead the nominations. However, Harry and This One's Wife were nowhere to be found in the list, despite the programme being one of the most talked about and divisive programmes of the year. According to sources, the docuseries was dismissed as a shit show, did not meet the standards of a documentary show. One critic told The Hollywood Reporter that the show was a self-serving propaganda piece with no journalistic integrity or artistic merit. Another critic said it was a vanity project that exploited the royal brand and Netflix's platform for personal gain. The reportage continues by explaining what the series was about. I don't need to go into that, and how the Sussexes have faced backlash for that series. It also states that the timing of the release of the series was questioned because it was released during the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations. Well, actually, it wasn't. Those took place in June 2022. The Shitflix series was released at the beginning of December 2022, several months later. The couple, who have not commented on the Critics' Choice snub, hang on a second, I thought This One's Wife was in tears, defended the decision to produce and star in the show. In a statement, they wanted to share the unique challenges they faced on their journey. They also wanted to inspire people around the world by showing the power of resilience and love. However, it seems the critics were not impressed by the docuseries, and neither were the viewers. The reportage continues by talking about where it ranked in Netflix's global rankings, that it had mixed reviews, and what it scored on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. It then also concludes by talking about other projects that the Gruesome Twosome have or had with Netflix, and also Archwell's work on Spotify. This information was all provided in a video. Let's have a look at the comments. Party Animal 1066. Lots of people get rejected for whatever reasons, but we don't see them having a temper tantrum because of it. Just typical of the Markles to think they should automatically win because of their history. Kathleen Wysilowski. My faith in Hollywood is being restored. Wing 7589. Power of courage, resilience and love. Is maggot serious? User YI7. Karma at its best. What goes around comes around, you spiteful duo. Liz Sim. If there was a lying grifter category, she would always win. Barbara Brucker. Resilience from what? From trashing the monarchy and walking away and whining. The only way they'll ever get the public's attention is to publicly apologise to the monarchy and to This One's Wife's family, but she doesn't have the character to do that. Mousy 3015. Finally, she's getting the criticism she deserves. Sandra Marshall. Those critics should be given medals. Well done. They have trashed our royal family, so it's heartening to learn that they are now being trashed. Soul Journey 60. Their Netflix show was not a documentary at all. Nothing was spontaneous, real life, or even real. It was a horribly over-dramatised, badly acted piece of fiction that was reminiscent of a dumpster fire. If there were awards for Best Dumpster Fire, they would have been in the running. Diana Fraser. Love the comments by the critics. No way should their series be considered for an award. I keep hearing about how Mimi, Harry's wife, is building her brand. What exactly brand does she have? Didn't know the sociopathic narcissist was a brand. Booze Evan. They're in the incorrect category. Should have been in the fiction category. And there's nearly 300 comments, all in a similar vein, criticising them. Well, the Critics' Choice Awards were just recently issued, and it's correct that the Harry and This One's Wife docuseries wasn't included. But interestingly, there isn't a documentary category. There's Best Drama Series, Best Actor in a Drama Series, Best Actress in a Drama Series, Best Supporting Actor in a Drama Series, Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series, Best Comedy Series, Best Actor in a Comedy Series, Best Actress in a Comedy Series, Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series, Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series, Best Limited Series, Best Movie Made for Television, Best Actor in a Limited Series or Movie Made for Television, Best Actress in a Limited Series or Movie Made for Television, Best Supporting Actor or Actress in a Limited Series or Movie Made for Television, Best Foreign Language Series, Best Animated Series, Best Talk Show, Best Comedy Special. I suppose it possibly could fit within Best Limited Series, because it was only, 6 or so episodes. But there is no documentary series. And, of course, where were the tears that were purportedly being shed by this one's wife, as detailed in the headline for the description of this video? Explaining that this one's wife is in tears as Critics' Choice Movie Awards cancelled her Netflix docuseries submitted by WME for nominations, beaten by The Morning Show. Yes, there has been no nomination. Was it submitted? Possibly. Who knows? But there's no evidence at all about a tearful reaction from this one's wife, and it's questionable whether it could have been submitted at all, because it's a documentary and there is no documentary series. Once again, this information has been put out there by a particular video channel, and it would appear that it simply didn't happen. That whilst the series has not been nominated, it's questionable whether it could actually be within those particular movie awards, and in any event, there's no evidence at all about the reaction. Now, if the video had been framed in terms of Harry and this one's wife series not nominated, how would she feel? Then you could explain, from the perspective of a narcissist, how she would feel at being rejected for the nomination, that it would wound, and quite possibly tears might have resulted. But once again, this channel engages in the issuing of disinformation, explaining that something has happened. And for instance, I think that you might have started to suspect something was slightly awry when it was rejected on the basis of being a shit show, and the fact that apparently a source said that it was dismissed as a shit show. I don't think they would be using that kind of language. Once again, another piece of fabrication, which, as I keep mentioning, plays into what this one's wife wants to be seen as, namely a victim of lies and of mis- and disinformation. This naturally leads to the question, could she actually be behind this? Might it be that she's orchestrating this deluge of disinformation about herself, where she's regularly criticised by other famous people, and that she's the one that's behind all of this? Not necessarily the case that she's creating the videos herself, although she's got plenty of time to do that, although having a meltdown as guest speaker on page 6 might be taking time away from her abilities to create videos. But the point is, might it be that she has, as part of some dark arts, decided to orchestrate a channel which pumps out this kind of nonsense, which is easily disprovable, so that she can then at an appropriate point turn around and say, look what's being said about me. This is errant nonsense. They're lies. There are many videos that are created each day pumping out these lies. The video that I've described just there has got 55,000 views at the time of me commenting upon it. Not massive, but nor a drop in the ocean either. And as I've mentioned, there are several of these videos a day, equating to quite a number of views. Might it therefore be the case that this one's wife is orchestrating this campaign supposedly against herself in order to generate something that she can then complain about, both in terms of engendering sympathy, see how they lie about me, but also quite possibly for the purpose of seeking to shut channels down that criticise her? By pointing out that there's this one that comes out with errant nonsense and lies, it then wouldn't be too difficult to then suggest that others that are critical of her are similarly lying. After all, look at this one. The others are in a similar bracket. Let's get rid of them all. That she would sweep together any channel that criticises her, even though it's done so legitimately, as being one that is pumping out hatred and lies about her. That she would group legitimate channels that base it upon evidence and reasonable speculation with this particular channel that I have referred to that has been telling barefaced lies. Certainly, it is conceivable that she would go down a route of saying to decision makers, look, all of these channels, all of these outlets, they're all disinformation. Various shades of it, but look at this one, for instance, here, saying that Kelsey Grammer lambasted me after I purportedly rang in and criticised his Frasier show. It's absolute lies. Easily disprovable lies. Another one saying that I turned up at the premiere of a film when there was no such premiere of that film. More lies. Now look at this channel that speculates that I'm trying to close people's freedom of speech down. And look at this one here, commenting about my narcissism. And look at this one here that regularly takes the piss out of me for the things that I do. All of them are disinformation and should be similarly grouped together. It is entirely conceivable that she could go down a particular route. But is it the case that she's actually greenlit this channel as a means to get to that point? I find that hard to believe. The reason being is it only has a small subscribership and its reach isn't that extensive. And quite simply, her ego is such that she believes herself to be far more important. There's no doubt in my mind that this channel's existence would be used by her if she came across it, and she would use it to further her own dark agenda. But I don't see that she's created it, because she would rather focus on there being PR puff pieces about her, how she's a fashion icon, how wonderful she is, how beautiful she is, how charitable and philanthropic she is. She'd rather showcase all of that. And moreover, she expects it to be international news outlets and broadcasters that are commenting upon her, not some small channel on YouTube, which has only got 3,550 subscribers. She would deem that as beneath her. Accordingly, I would see that she would harness the presence of this channel to use it to try and shut it down and others of a similar ilk, i.e. ones which are criticising her. But I don't see that she would be behind the creation of the channel in the first place. She's far too important in her own mind to deal with something so minor, and she would rather focus on putting herself in a positive light through propaganda rather than creating propaganda that criticises herself. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.